Nuclear weapons, the most powerful and dangerous creations of humankind. Many nations have sought to acquire them for security, power, and influence. But one country took a different path. Ukraine made history by becoming the only nation to voluntarily surrender its nuclear arsenal. Why did this happen? Was it a wise decision? And what can we learn from Ukraine's disarmament? Join us as we uncover the full story. Historical background. To understand Ukraine's nuclear disarmament, we must first look back to the Cold War era. After World War II, the Soviet Union became one of the two superpowers, engaging in a nuclear arms race with the United States. In its vast territory, multiple Soviet republics housed nuclear weapons, including Ukraine. By the time the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, Ukraine inherited a significant portion of the Soviet nuclear arsenal. This included around 1,900 strategic nuclear warheads, making it the third largest nuclear power in the world, only behind the United States and Russia. However, Ukraine never fully controlled these weapons. The launch codes remained in Moscow's hands. Still, Ukraine had a choice to make: should it keep these warheads or give them up? Ukraine's political approach to disarmament. After gaining independence, Ukraine faced immense political and economic challenges. The newly formed government had to decide whether to join the ranks of nuclear states or embrace a future without nuclear weapons. The decision was complex. On one hand, nuclear weapons were a powerful deterrent against any future aggression. On the other hand, maintaining them was expensive, and international pressure was mounting for Ukraine to disarm. The Ukrainian government ultimately chose diplomacy over deterrence. In 1994, Ukraine signed the Budapest Memorandum, agreeing to give up its nuclear arsenal in exchange for security assurances from Russia, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Ukraine believed this agreement would protect its sovereignty and territorial integrity. But was this trust well placed? Role of other countries and outcome of the event. Ukraine's decision was heavily influenced by the involvement of global powers. The United States and Russia were particularly keen on preventing nuclear proliferation. Washington offered economic aid and political support, while Moscow pressured Ukraine to hand over the warheads, arguing they were originally Soviet property. By 1996, Ukraine had completely relinquished its nuclear arsenal, transferring the warheads to Russia for dismantling. In return, Ukraine received promises of protection under the Budapest Memorandum. But history would later prove these assurances were not enough. Reasons for failure of the Nuclear Disarmament Treaty. The first cracks in the promises made to Ukraine appeared in 2014, when Russia annexed Crimea. This act directly violated the Budapest Memorandum, as Russia had pledged to respect Ukraine's borders. Despite Ukraine's protests, the Western signatories, the US and UK, did little beyond imposing economic sanctions on Russia. The situation escalated further with the war in Donbas, where Russian-backed separatists engaged in prolonged conflict with Ukrainian forces. Many Ukrainians began to question whether giving up their nuclear weapons had been a grave mistake. After all, would Russia have dared to invade if Ukraine had retained its nuclear deterrent? Ukraine's disarmament raises a crucial question for the world: do security assurances truly hold value without enforcement? If a country gives up nuclear weapons in exchange for protection, but that protection is not upheld, what message does it send to other nations considering disarmament? Today, countries like North Korea and Iran closely study Ukraine's experience. North Korea, for instance, has cited Ukraine's fate as a reason to retain its nuclear arsenal. It believes that without nuclear weapons, it could become vulnerable to foreign intervention. Ukraine's nuclear disarmament was a decision driven by hope and diplomacy. However, the lack of enforcement of security guarantees has raised serious concerns about the effectiveness of such agreements. Was Ukraine's choice a noble step towards a nuclear-free world? Or a tragic mistake that left the country vulnerable? The debate continues. One thing is certain, Ukraine's story serves as a powerful lesson for the world. As we navigate modern geopolitics, we must ask ourselves, can peace be achieved through disarmament alone, or does security require strength? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into global history and politics. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious.